Hey everyone, welcome to the very beginning of a series I'll be doing. The goal of the series is to get us to become better R6 players. And yes, I did use the term us because I also want to use this series as a way to improve my own skills. And I felt what better way to do this than start from Copper 5 and end the series off when we hit Champion. Now a little background for me so you don't think I'm just some random player. I'm actually a former professional R6 player. I competed from seasons 1 to 3, and I even played at the Season 3 World Championship in Poland. I've teamed with many notable players in the scene that you may know, such as Laxing, Geometric, Skies, Vertical, and so forth. And so the reason I bring this up is because I quit Siege towards the very end of Season 3, and with the release of Siege X, I wanted to try it again just mostly for fun, and I gotta say, I've been having a blast playing this game again. Now, I mostly play Ranked, and I thought, hey, this may be a good way to get back into the game and climb the champion while making a series that everyone can relate to. So as I mentioned before, in this series, we'll be taking a mixture of wins and losses, and I'll be commentating over these games, giving you my thoughts and feedback on how I'm playing and how my teammates are playing, and all around just trying to go over the good and the bad so we can learn from it and become better players ourselves. Additionally, I want each video in this series to have some sort of theme to it on top of the general commentary, and the theme of this one is going to be challenging. Now, whether you want to call it taking fights, ego challenging, or whatever, the point is growing as a player by taking fights, and I'll get more into that in a second. One thing to note is that this is PC ranked. However, I'll be using a controller while playing it, so I'll essentially be playing against a bunch of MK players. Now, I'm not really going to get too much into that, mostly because I enjoy controller and my right click on my mouse is pretty messed up, so I can't really aim properly when it comes to FPSs. But with all that being said, I hope you enjoy the series and leave a comment if it is something you want to see me continue with, because that's a really good way to let me know that you're interested. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start breaking down this game. All right, so we're here on Consulate, and we are playing the top point. Now, one thing I am going to have to do is look at some really good Valk spots, because I don't know any Valk spots right now, and I honestly just start throwing my cameras around. But there is some method to the madness here. So, one thing you do want to do with Valk is, of course, you want to get the maximum amount of area coverage on the camera while also minimizing where people can see it, right? And obviously, if a drone sees you throw it, you're gonna have to reposition it, so on and so forth. So with that in mind, one thing I always try to do with the cameras is I always try to sort of minimize, knowing where the attackers come from, I always try to minimize how they can see the camera while still using, the audio from the camera so we can hear footsteps, and of course using the visual feed so we can actually see the enemy players as well. And so that's where I kind of decided to put my cameras here this round. It's more arbitrary. It was a lot more random. Probably a lot better that I go later on and take a look at actually some camera spots that I'll start using in some future games as well. So Valkyrie actually is one of my favorite characters. I used to play her a lot. But here we're going to be sitting behind this desk trying to essentially gun down that hallway. On this spot, I really like looking at that hallway and kind of controlling this area. You have a lot of control here because you're locking down this push, and you can also fight the main doorway, the main hallway. And so we're kind of just going to be playing around here, get a really nice headshot onto that guy, and unfortunately we overchow and then we die. So as I mentioned before, the goal or the theme of this video, on top of the general commentary I'll be doing, is going to be challenging. And so I think it's really important when you get into any game, especially a game like R6, I think it's really important at the very beginning to just overchow fights. And the reason why is because I think that is how you grow as a player. I've done that in many games. Rainbow Six wasn't the first game I competed in, nor was it the last. It was definitely the game I was the most successful in when it came to competitive. But one theme I found across all the games that I've played is really just taking fights and challenging, especially when I first got into the game. And that teaches you how to be more aggressive, and being more aggressive teaches you how to be more confident. And so, first of all, respect ban on the Valkyrie. We'll just take that. We'll take that as a win right there. It's a little personal dub. But yeah, and so it teaches you how to be more confident as a player. And of course, the other thing too is it helps you get your mechanics up, right? Think about it like this: if you're not challenging fights, if you're too scared to challenge, you're not really practicing your mechanics at all, because you're just holding angles 24/7, which isn't bad. That's like the correct way to play, especially on defense. But since we're starting at lower ranks, this is like how you progress. This is how you grow as a player, in my opinion, from my experience, right? And so when you are challenging, you are gaining that confidence, you are gaining that momentum, even if you die, even if you're dying a lot. And so that's why I think, like, starting off playing a game playing casuals, I think, is a really good way. Playing unranked, unrated is a really, really good way to help build up that confidence. Mostly because there's also not too many good players in unrated, and so if you're just starting out and you start taking those fights and killing them, you're like, oh, like I can do this, and you start building up that confidence yourself, right? Like obviously, punishing noobs isn't the best thing to do. But at the same time, if you're a noob yourself, you want to build up that confidence in one way or another. So that's why challenging is very, very important. And you'll be seeing me do a lot of that this game and this series. Now, as I mentioned earlier, um, it's not necessarily the correct way to play the game. Okay, so like every rank scene, every scene is gonna have different levels, right? So whenever you're at the lower level, lower end, there's gonna be like a different meta. Sorry, I didn't mean to say levels. I meant to say metas. So whenever you're at the lower end, there's gonna be a different meta than like at a higher end. And actually, I'll get more into that in a second, but I don't want to kind of take away from the overall gameplay by going over that. So let me talk more about that as like we're dead or like there's time between rounds and stuff like that. It's probably the best time to talk about it. So here we're just kind of setting up same play. We're just kind of like watching this area, have some really good shots on that guy. One thing to note is that I love this gun, and I actually really love this sight too. But I love Kapkan. I love this gun. So I do play a lot of Kapkan on defense. And I love just placing random traps on random doorways. As you saw, I tried to put it on that bottom doorway, but I got scanned by a drone, which is why I took it all off. Because, why would I leave it there if they know? So the next best thing to do with your Kapkans is kind of like put them inside the bomb site, especially if the enemy is being very, very aggressive. So you can kind of do like a little bit of mixture of that. But we essentially... Oh, look, there's Dokubi, bro. I hate that character. But essentially what we want to be doing is we want to be... just holding these doorways, holding these angles, making it really hard for the enemy to push, and we can use our Kapkan traps to pretty much do like an extra hold. So one thing I guess I should have done here is I should have put some traps on the other side. But we're actually just like slaying the hell out of these guys, so it didn't end up mattering this round. But what we should have done is see how we have those traps right here. Probably wasn't the best doorway to put them in. I think I was just kind of running low on time, which is why I put them down there. What I should have done is put them on this opposite doorway, the one I'm at right now. And that would have helped me out a lot. So we end up seeing that guy, killing him. We hurt him. I remember I'm actually queued with Izzy Alive this game, so I was like, yo, I heard him, and I go for pre-fire. So that's another thing I like to do a lot in this game is kind of like pre-fire quite a bit, especially because I know you don't have infinite ammo, but you're probably never going to run out of ammo just because you get more every single round. So one good thing to do is like pre-fire around corners, especially when you hear footsteps. It's one way to kind of get the jump on people. And sometimes what I'll do here and there, hey, look, Capcan ban, another respect ban. Let's go, baby. Another personal dub. But one thing that we always try to do is like pre-fire. It helps us get the jump on people and sometimes kill people when we like low-key shouldn't be able to because of the one-shot headshot mechanic to this game. So we love the one-shot headshot mechanic. But yeah, that's probably what I should have done better that round was just kind of like spreading out my Kapkan traps a little bit more. I was running a little bit low on time because of how I placed them initially. But if you are looking for more like defensive traps overall, definitely want to put them in like a perimeter that you're gonna hold, right? So if I'm holding that area like you saw me hold, I should put my Kapkan traps probably on like the opposite side. So it's like I'm holding two main areas at once, if that makes sense, right? So that would have been a good idea. And then I like going Rook down here for the ACOG chow at the garage if I have to ACOG chow. So I just love like Rook's gun and stuff like that. I think Doc is probably a better character than Rook from what I've been noticing, but we're still kind of learning and stuff like that. I'm learning what the meta is and all that kind of jazz. So I used to be a Rook main back in the day, so I'm kind of like gravitating towards a lot of the characters that I used to play. So I used to play a lot of Valk, used to play a lot of Rook, so that's that's what we're playing this game. But yeah, going back to what I was talking about earlier, again, like the theme of it all is to just overly take challenges at a lower level. It's not necessarily the correct play, like nor the right thing to do, but in terms of like personal growth as a player, it's what's going to propel you the most, the fastest, in my personal opinion, from my own experiences. That's just kind of what I've noticed. And that's kind of what I've always done when it comes to video games. I just try to start off the rip, just like taking challenges that may seem really stupid from like an observer's point of view. It's like, why would that guy ever take that? But it's just like me building up my own confidence, me building up my aggression, and then, me being able to have better or be better at taking gunfights is the bottom line. So that's why I think it's always good to kind of do that, especially at like lower ranks, especially in pubs, all that kind of stuff. It's very, very smart. Try not to play too scared. There are certain situations where you should play scared, right? For example, like play timer. If you have diffuser down, you know the enemy has to like cross. Probably the best time to play timer there. But like here, like right now, I'm trying to challenge this doorway, right? Like I'm not afraid of this. Like I want somebody to poke this. I want to challenge him. This right here is probably not the best idea. This is a little risky, right? Somebody like times me around the corner and I die. So, um, it depends. But really, what I should be doing here, in my opinion, is yeah, like okay, so I'm gonna impact this. But I should be kind of like looking at the garageway. That's why I picked work in the first place. No idea where I died from. I was very confused at this point. No idea how Kali got in. Um, I actually still don't know how she got in. Uh, I was very confused. I was very confused. I'm not really sure because I boarded up that other doorway. We were in this area. My teammates were holding the other room. She might have came from the back and I just didn't hear her break down the door, which is unlikely. I don't really know. I'm not really sure. Couldn't tell you. But regardless, we died to Kali, unfortunately, off a flank. And so we weren't really able to play that round. But what I should have probably been doing was holding the garage area because that's why I picked Rook in the first place. Like I mentioned before, we're playing the ACOG so we can kind of take challenges at that doorway, make it hard for them to get in. And so the fact that we weren't doing that was a little weird. Now, I have seen a lot of people rush from the back before, so I'm like, okay, like I should probably watch the back because maybe somebody's gonna rush here. Maybe like an Ash, for example, is gonna try to take like a fast rush inside. She ended up not doing that, and so nobody was there. But that was partly why that was my thought process of kind of sitting there. So yeah, one thing I do like to do at that bottom point, and I didn't do it that round, but I kind of like to board up the back doors. No idea how effective of a strat that really is, but it seems kind of effective because usually when I board up all those doors and people have to get through, they have to like punch their way through a bunch of doors, and obviously you can kind of hear them doing that. And so it's a really good sort of like alarm system, right? To let you know, hey, somebody's trying to get through the back. It causes resistance. And so I think overall it's like a really good way to sort of like hold the back room, like that back area, without actually physically holding it, if that makes sense. Also, too, people like the fast drop from the hatch from up top in the back here and there. And so if somebody is ever trying to do that, I mean, you could just like look it down, right? But if anybody's ever trying to do that, then you can like slow down their push. So on attack, I have actually been really enjoying Thermite recently. So that's why we picked Thermite here. I really enjoy his gun, easy to control, great damage. And Thermite, I feel like, is almost always needed. One thing I noticed is like a lot of people don't play Thatcher. And I feel like Thatcher Thermite almost not every single game, or sorry, not every single round, because some rounds don't really need breaches. It really just depends where they're holding. But like most rounds, I feel like Thatcher Thermite's just a way to go, right? If neither of the two characters are banned, why not just go Thatcher Thermite? Because people, of course, are gonna put K traps. They might try to put bandit traps on, and like you need a Thatcher to help deal with that. Now, of course, if people are good at like bandit tricking and all that kind of stuff, that's another story. But yeah, I don't know. Like people aren't really playing Thatcher to my Thermite, and it's kind of annoying. I'm like, oh, okay. So that guy just got owned, unfortunately. One thing I do like to do sometimes is just shoot through windows. I've actually gotten accused of wall hacking before because I've randomly shot through like a doorway and just gotten some headshots. Pretty gratifying. I can't cap. But yeah, this is like I think there's a K trap on this, and so I'm just like, yeah, like I can't go through here. We don't have a Thatcher. Now Thermite's kind of like useless, right? Like I don't really have my own util to do anything with. So one thing I do like doing on this push is pushing through this window that you're going to see me rappel down here. I think this is like a fantastic window to just kind of like get a good vantage point on, but got to be a little careful. People do love to chow this window. And so I'm just trying to be a little bit careful here, but we do end up getting the dock, which is great. I love to rappel upside down. I like it a lot better than just not being inverted. Some people get sick doing this. Luckily, I've never really gotten sick doing this, so I'm chilling. But I do like to rappel upside down. I think it just gives me more cover to my body. I think one of the negative sides is you Might be easier to hit your head. I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was, bro. I should be dead right there. That guy got out. This is Copper 5. This is Copper 5, all right? That's all I'm going to say. So, this is a little bit goofing off here. The one cool thing about the series maybe is that you're going to see, obviously, like, the players get better, the challenges and the gameplay mechanics and all that kind of stuff progress and get better as we continue the series, of course, as we, like, go through up the ranks. So, we were able to get 3 frags this round, all 3 of them. And I'm going to kind of drone in here. Probably Izzy should be droning from me since I'm fragging right now. Not saying that from like an ego standpoint, but you know, I have the momentum. I'm on fire this round. So I'm like, you know what? Like maybe he should be droning for me instead of me droning for him. But it's all good. We're just kind of holding this. Maybe that was a little bit more for myself. But we're going to try to make a main push. Thinking back on this, honestly, a better push would be to go from A side. So, where's it on the compass? East? Going from east side, I don't really remember what those rooms are called, but going through that hallway from down below, that would have been a better push than this, to be honest. So, looking back on this gameplay. Because it would have limited... Ooh, Izzy gets picked off there. Say that in a second. Let's see this intense situation, what happens.
10 seconds left. The diffuser has been secured.
Oh my god.
Ah, unfortunate. We were pressed for time. We had 2 people to kill. Wasn't likely. But and the reason why I say I think this was like a dumb push by us overall is because when you're going through A, through that back hallway there, it's going to limit how they can, the angles that they can get on you as you walk up, right? Because you can clear your back a lot easier, but when you're going through main, you have to clear the left, you have to clear the right, you have to clear the front. So there's like 3 different vantage points that they can see you from, whereas when you're going from that back hallway, I'm sure there's only really one way to kind of get in there, that you're going to get in there, but you have to clear less, or you can clear less essentially while you're doing that. So that probably would have been a better push for us looking back on this overall. I think next time I'm in that situation, we definitely go from that back hallway rather than going up main. That was a little goofy. But you know, maybe I was on fire and I was feeling it. You know, when you get like 1 or 2 picks or 3 picks, you're feeling it. But we're gonna play Thermite again. We know that since they won the last round, they have to kind of go into garage. Well, they don't have to go into garage, but typically what's gonna happen is everybody likes the top point, and then people like going garage for the second point. So they're more than likely to go through garage on this one, and so we will be playing Thermite for that. But again, like we don't really have a Thatcher. I probably should have calmed that in game chat, but I haven't really been calming as much. But yeah, like we don't have a Thatcher, so like, you know, are we even going to be able to break through this? You know, let's find out. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you need that extra util to be able to push through this. I'm surprised a lot more people just don't. Thatcher has good guns too. The AR-33 is awesome. And then the one that I forgot the other one that I use. The one that Sledge has. That one is, I love that gun. Gun's amazing. I'll play Sledge just to use that gun, honestly. It's got great recoil control, great damage. It's great all around. But yeah, after we see the site, don't want to reach out with my drone. I said reach out, like the drone has guns on it. I don't want to like repoke out my drone or anything like that. Just looking for jump outs and peek outs and stuff. I'm still kind of getting more used to the layout of these maps. Back when I played console, it actually didn't look like this. It was a bit of a different map. So I'm still kind of getting used to all that. And I do know people throw C4 out the top there. So that's one thing I was looking at. You know, you just want to be aware of that C4. They also have like a Cade trap. Oh, I actually didn't even see it all the way up there. Maybe I did actually. Maybe I did. Then we shoot it, and we actually get a perfect shot on it. I was surprised by that. I was like, wow, that was too good. Like we're really clean here. So we're gonna throw another drone in, but I mean, I think Cade's just gonna put another trap, so it's not really any point. Yeah, this time he puts it onto the reinforcement. So I don't know why I'm shooting the top like that's gonna do anything, but can't really do much there. So I'm just like, yeah, like we have to give up this push. We don't have a thermite, or sorry, we have a thermite. We don't have a thatch or anything like that to deal with it. So you know, we're trying to play the game correctly, but like it's a team-based game, so we need other util to help push us in there, right? So overall, I still really do like thermite. I think his gun's amazing, and I can still do this with hatches, so it's fun. But there's probably better picks. Maybe Ace would be a better pick. Ace also has a really good gun. Habana could be a really good pick. So there are better picks here and there, but I like how big the holes their might create are.
One's right here.
So that's nice. So we're just gonna play up on top of this hatch with Izzy for a little bit. Look for picks. People like to move around on defense. We have time. We had about 90 seconds when I first opened the hatch, so we're kind of chilling here. I got an assist though, so I guess I shot that guy a little bit, which is nice. But yeah, I probably don't need to sit up here. I could probably start making some pushes, but we do end up getting a kill, and then our teammate gets another frag until we win the rounds. Perfect, right? But I don't really need to sit there anymore, right? So after I open it, sitting there maybe was fine initially just to watch the cross angle with Izzy, but like Izzy's got that. He's holding that. So maybe actually we could sit there, and then Izzy's the one that moves out and actually pushes through because he is the one with the shield. So he's the one that's going to be the best at like making that initial push. So actually, I take that back. Sure, yeah, we can sit there and we can play that. Izzy should be the one moving out and moving through and pushing and whatnot. So they end up banning Blackbeard because nobody wants to deal with Blackbeard. And yeah, let's go around. I didn't realize. I just noticed that we were down 1-3. Wow, for some reason I kind of thought it was flipped. You know, I thought it was flipped because I was fragging this game. I was like hard fragging this game. I think we have like 8-9 kills right now or something like that, close to that. So I for some reason, like in my head, I thought like we were up 3-1 just now, but no, we were down 1-3. That was very close to losing this. Or at least like not getting to OT. But we'll see if we do get to OT. I don't want to spoil anything. So yeah, we're just chilling right now. Let's see what else is there to talk about on this map. Probably gonna make another push. I think another good push from below is the backside. If you want to have like 5 men run from the backside, that might be a pretty decent push. Never really tried it, but it looks like these guys actually ended up switching up their routine, which is interesting. So they don't want to do below anymore. They are doing the mid floor, which I don't really know how good of a site this is to hold. I think it's actually probably pretty decent. But now like you have to deal with the ceiling a little bit more. There is more roaming. So on sites like this, there's more roaming that the defense can do. And you should be roaming on defense. You should, in my opinion, you should almost always have at least 1 roamer on defense, maybe 2. But I was always the kind of player that held OBJ. So I was always like, I wasn't really roaming too much on my team back in the day, but like I know the importance of roaming and you need roamers. But on sites like this, it's a lot easier for defense to roam because they can roam below, they can roam up top, and they have a lot more ways to kind of, I want to say, disrupt the fight, disrupt the plays, and all that kind of stuff. So we're just kind of like looking at the windows, playing a little bit patient, trying to take some challenges, peeking through. But at the end of the day, we just end up kind of going on this side, the north side, and going with our teammates. Fortunately, one of our teammates gets smoked, and see, what am I going to do here? Try to go in from below. Want to be a little careful here. Going to throw on my drone, drone myself in. It's really good to have a duo partner and just have him drone you in. But drone yourself in. So I know no one's up there, so I want to look to the right, I assume, right? Like, yeah, perfect. Okay, good. I want to make sure I look to the right there because I know that my left is clear. So, but I didn't drone on my right. So by doing that, I essentially eliminate one angle, right? So I eliminate one way that the enemy can come because I know no one's there, at least for like a few seconds. But I don't know if they're to the right or not, so we hold for a second. There's always a chance I can get shot in my back here, but I kind of have to take that risk since I'm droning myself. It just is what it is. I see him here, and we're just going to go ahead and get a nice little spray through the wall and kill him. Perfect. Try not to red scan on drones too. That's another tip. One I've I've learned the hard way a few times. Try to yellow ping if you can, but I kind of knew where he was. I didn't even need to ping him. Is that Iana? Dude, my Iana just kind of. Oh, that was. Oh, okay. I thought that was like a real person for a second. I was like, what the heck? She's just kind of running in there. But end up getting that kill. Gonna try to open up this hole. Gives us another angle. Just want to kind of push a little bit slow. I'm actually going to try to take this angle. I should not be doing this with diffuser, though, in my opinion, because if I do die here, it kind of puts it in a weird spot, a little bad spot. But we are able to get in through here, and we see him below, and yeah, he's dead. So now we've tied it up. We're going to go into OT. It's 3-3. We've actually played our attack rounds really, really well so far. A mixture of patience, a mixture of winning gunfights, right? And again, this is why I stated earlier, it's important to challenge, right? Win these gunfights. I have 11 kills right now. This is really good. It's important to kind of challenge. There are definitely times where I could just die in these gunfights, and I could maybe lose us around doing that. But if I'm not taking those fights and I'm not really progressing, I'm not really growing as a player. And if I'm not really growing as a player, yeah, maybe we do get some wins here and there, but then I'm not really getting that good. So then I'm going to start leveling off at certain ranks until I actually do start taking those challenges and winning those gunfights. So it's very, very important to get into that mindset at an early stage or early age when you're playing. I said early age, didn't I? When you're playing R6. Just because it's very important to just, help you learn, help you get into the game, and just help you become confident. That's the big thing, is becoming confident. What are we doing with our drone? Just being a little silly, just dilly-dallying around. I think one thing that's cool about so this game has changed like quite a bit from when I did used to play. Just call me Unk Dash, Unk D-board. But back when I used to play, it like the rounds flipped every single round, or like attack and defense flipped every single round. There weren't any bans either, so I think it's kind of cool that there's character bans now, and then the bans, of course, carry over into OT. So like we're not banning anymore, but like the bans still carry over. And I don't even know what I was doing for that initial 30 seconds. I was just kind of being a jokester, I guess. But I think I don't like spawning over here as much because there's a lot of peaks. You have that down peak, you have the up top peaks. It can get a little scary for sure. So I don't like spawning down there as much, but I think we kind of do that by accident. I was like, ooh, I don't see any traps on this door anymore, but there is a mute. And so I'm like, oh, there's a mute. Can't play the game. GG. Have to move somewhere else. Oh, it's just not real, bro. It's just not real. Give Thermite some EMP impacts or something. No, that would actually be insane. But we're going to play this little window again. Like I said, I love playing this window here. It gives me a really good angle. It allows me to kind of like, I don't know what that guy was doing, bro. That guy was not sneaky at all. But it allows me to limit what like the angles and how the defense can move when I'm watching this, because like obviously they can't move through here, otherwise they're going to get shot by me, and I should be able to kill them. So like that's kind of why I like playing this window a little bit. It sort of like limits how they can move for free, right, without getting punished for it. So it's nice. This is a little risky. I don't know about sitting like this on the window. I feel like if anybody was kind of like to my left, I'd just die there. So I probably would not recommend doing that. But luckily nobody was there, so we were big chilling. But we're gonna move over here with our teammates. After we got that pick, which is nice, put a little bit of pressure on that window. Now, what's cool about opening up that window and getting that pick is the defense doesn't really know if I'm playing over there still or not. So like they're still feeling that pressure despite me being on the completely opposite end of the map, which is really nice, right? You want them to feel that pressure. You want them to feel limited, which is really good. So we opened up this. We're gonna try to run through here. This is, I don't know why I'm droning like this, bro. They could peek out on that angle and kill me. This is a little bit of a silly drone. Again, a little bit of luck involved here. Luckily, nobody was there, but definitely wanted to scoot around the corner more next time if I'm going to drone. I'm just going to red ping that guy so my teammates know. I mean, that guy already sees my drone, so no point in yellow pinging. And we're just going to kind of run in here and see if we can take some fights. We're going to look for a defuse. And we're just gonna see how this plays out. I'm planting.
Diffuser is active, protected at all costs.
Changing megs.
Guy got killed by a claymore. Dude, I feel like getting killed by a claymore has to be like one of the worst ways to go out in this game. Where the fuck is he? Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of like holding this angle in here. Low key, this is like the angle where we bait out our teammates. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there was, unless like we were really just running at him one by one. I don't really think there was a way that we were gonna lose that round. So yeah, like we won that round. It's big. We are up 4-3. One thing I noticed so far in this game is that our attack rounds have been way, way better than our defensive rounds. In fact, I think, have we only won a singular defensive round? I want to say we have. think we won one defensive round, and that was like the first round this game. So hopefully we can pull this one out. Go for a win. I actually don't quite know. So you don't have to win by 2 in OT, but I think you have to. Like, how does that work? I think there's 3 rounds in OT total, right? But if so it's a best of 3, I think. That's what it is. Okay. So OT is a best of 3, so the first to win 2 rounds doesn't have to be 2 in a row, but the first to win 2 rounds essentially wins OT. So maybe there is like a little bit of unfairness there. You know, if one team gets like double defense versus another. But I mean, honestly, bro, if the enemy team got double defense, it's fine because we have been fragging on offense, so that's good. So we're going to play Mute. That's another character I love to play. I actually think Mute's probably, like, low-key, Mute's got to be OP, right? His tactical, his drone jammer, or not just drone jammer, but his jammer in general. Look at this guy trying to lock me out. His jammer in general has to just be, like, one of the best tools in the game. Like, it's just got to be. I feel like Mute is. If I were to create a tier list right now, I would put Mute as like an S tier character, maybe like an A tier. But I feel like he would be like an S tier character for sure. Gotta be a little bit careful peeking out this way, just because like people do love to rush through this. But yeah, we're just gonna be playing how we played throughout like all the other ones. I probably should have set up some more jammers over here earlier. Just again, still trying to like get a feel for like where I should be placing down attack equipment. If I do continue the series, you know, if you guys do like this, one thing you'll definitely be noticing is throughout the series, I'll be having better placements for whether it's cameras, mute jammers, like whatever the case, there'll be better placements definitely throughout like future videos. So, but I love just holding this area. You just get to hold a lot. So let's kind of see how this plays out a little bit. Nice little C4 around that corner. That was pretty good. Heard him inside there.
I got that one in here.
One friendly operator remaining.
2 of them are really weak.
I feel like we ran in there without like an idea of what to do. Somebody was holding that window. We just died. We should definitely be pre-aiming around that window when we hold. Oh man, this was. So my teammate called out that one was weak, if I remember correctly. I knew one was down from another call out. And then, so I downed the weak guy, and then I saw that guy poke out. Man, if I just killed him, we just win that round. And, like, we're just chilling. We're not tied at 4-4. So that was unfortunate. Sometimes, too, it's like your eyes gravitate towards the down people. It's like, yo, I need my kills. I got to get my kills, you know? But, no, we made the right play there, right? Like, we made the right play. We challenged. We won the initial gunfight. One guy was down. We downed the other guy. We just lost the gunfight. That's all there was to it. That's what I love about a game like this is it's very cut and dry. You know, sometimes it's like, what could I have done better in certain situations? In that kind of situation, it's mostly just like, yeah, just win the gunfight, right? So like, because we lost that gunfight, we lost the round, but that's, you know, it's about as simple as it possibly gets. You just got to win that gunfight. That's all there is to it. You know, can't blame your teammates for that. Can only blame yourself. So yeah, all around though, it was a good play, I think. You know, we took that challenge, we took that confidence, and we just lost the gunfight. So that's just one of the things that happens. But we are tied up at 4-4 right now. We are on attack, so our history on attack has been very good, right? We've won almost every single round on attack. I'm not too worried. We're chilling. We know that they're up top. Or I kind of know that they're up top because of that mute jammer. I just like holding down Y, by the way. I don't know if this is like freaking you guys out at all. It's freaking me out a little bit. I just like holding down Y to twiddle my thumbs or just do something. I claw the Y, so I use my index finger on it. I have paddles for everything else, but I claw the Y. So we're just gonna make the same pushes that we normally do. I don't think this is gonna switch up at all. We know they have a mute, so I mean I don't even know if I'm gonna attempt. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not even gonna attempt to try to go over there this round. I already know what's gonna happen. Like there's just no point. But I was getting spotted by scans. I was like, wait, did we shoot that camera? Yes, we did. So it must have been the other camera all the way over there. Can't really see. That's also why you shouldn't really be spotting like that. But it looks like we're actually not gonna be playing that window this round. We're going to be taking this area over here. I'm going to try to go faster. The normal. Gotta be a little careful because this is a soft wall, so people can obviously shoot and kill you through this. Luckily, no one's looking at it though. So we are gonna thermite through there, and just kind of watch this a little bit. I want to watch the initial run out when I first blow something up in case someone decides to get, you know, a little aggressive, a little confident. And after a few seconds, I'm like, okay, no one's rushing out, so then I'll go ahead and throw a drone. We do see a guy down there who was holding that angle, so it's good that we ended up droning this out so we didn't just rush in and die. And I think I am kind of playing this round a little bit more carefully than normal just because it's the very last round and I'm top fragging, so. Luckily, we end up killing Sneaky again. This guy has not been sneaky all game, but we are 1 HP, so. However, we do have a Finka, which is great, so I'm just kind of like waiting for her to rejuvenate my HP while I'm holding this angle. And, dude, this Twitch does not know what to do. This guy just running around. I think he just died. Oh, man. That guy. That is good. I mean, honestly, bro, he could have downed me with the shock drone, right? And then picked me up and I could have got 20 HP. 19 more HP for free. That would have been pretty good. Gonna run through, though.
She did. She had one.
Good little tack on her foot. I don't know if that can actually kill you or not. But just want to, you know, we have very little HP, so we kind of want to play this corner a little bit, see if we can punish them for overchalling. I thought that ping was right there. Does that look like it's below? Yeah, it was below. Wow. We only got 20 seconds, so we gotta hurry up and make a play. And then there's a guy right there. But he ends up killing him, which is great. However, we only have 10 seconds remaining. We gotta hurry up. And then Mute comes out from left corner and kills us. So very, very unfortunate. We end up losing the round, losing the game. We do end up dropping 15 kills. I wasn't really too upset about that. I just had a good performance. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, we lost, but, you know, I had a good... I kind of get upset whenever I have a bad performance. It's mostly, for me, it's more about, like, self-performance. Of course, like, you want to win games, but it's about self-performance a lot. So we still had a really good performance that game. Overall, though, that last round... should have done more of a coordinated push. Took a little bit too long, and I think overall as well, we should have. I should have been the one planting the diffuser at the end there. That's kind of what like my last thought was on that. While my ally kind of held an angle to Chow because I was very weak. So you know, if anything, my ally should hold that angle and look for a challenge while I try to do diffuser. So. Those are my final thoughts on that round. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the first game. So hopefully what's going to be a great series. If you all enjoy, again, leave comments down below. Just so I know that, you know, you guys are interested in this series and that you want to keep watching it. And I'll probably create like a couple more videos on this and just kind of test the water, see how it goes and see if we should continue this. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Appreciate it as always. And until next one, see ya.